Alright, back again. Somewhat cleaner floor. What did I do today? So, I ended up building off that remnants of what was there. That was that one piece, and I extended it forward, and then I made a whole new piece here. This cuts right through. It's joined to here and to here. And then I went around the front and fixed up the handbrake. These little teeth, I've ground in some teeth. That's got to be filed down again. And then I've boxed in all of this section up the top here, joined it to the original floor. So now I've actually got, this is all tight now. It's all locked into the frame. So if you look at it from the front, it's actually start of the floor. So it's just a start, and we're going to continue on from there, but it was a bit of a minefield, so I'm glad I've got that started anyway. I still haven't worked out where the accelerator pedal goes yet. It's stumping me. I'm sure I've got this wrong. I'm sure I've got these in the wrong positions, because I don't know where the accelerator cable is going to go. It's got to be out here somewhere. So I've got a feeling it's wrong. I have to go maybe talk to someone, but yeah, I haven't even got the accelerator cable. So what I find funny is that this pedal was attached to the outer frame, and so where does the accelerator go after that? It can't be on the inside, because this is the brake pedal. So, you know, in Australia we drive on the right hand side, so you've got on the right hand, you've got the accelerator, then the brake, and then the clutch. So it would be accelerator, brake, and then clutch. So this is the clutch with the clutch cable. This is the brake one with the allowance for the brake booster, which will go here. And I'm guessing the accelerator must be out here, but it doesn't seem like that. It's every picture I've seen, I can't seem to get a full picture of a top view of where all three pedals go. But I will get there. It just doesn't seem right, so yeah, I can't really do much. I'm sort of struggling to continue with trying to keep moving forward. I know there's 1,000 things to do, but this is like a giant Sudoku puzzle. You sort of only got 4 numbers and you've got to try and work the whole thing out. So I'm just trying to work bit by bit. So one reference gives me the point for another reference, and then that reference gives me the point for another. So I've got to sort of work backwards before I can go forwards sometimes. And I'm trying to get the valance made, so it's the inner front end panel. It's got allowance for the bumper bar bracket that comes through here. There's 2 bolt holes, and then it's got a cutout, so it's about that wide. I can't seem to find the exact measurements anywhere. As I said, I'm not buying panels for this vehicle. I'm going to make them all, so it's just a matter of just trying to work out exactly what things are. So it's roughly that, and then it comes out about this far, but I can't make it until I know exactly how far it comes out and what curve it gets. So to do that, I have to get the front end in, and I've got that in the backyard, and it's buggered, but it'll give me some sort of dimension to work from, and then I can sort of work out to it. You know, it's all about measuring points, you know, and then point to point, and then point to point, and then point to point, point to point. So, you know, I haven't got a floor pan, so I can't really tell where the holes go. So that would have been the smartest thing for me to do, would be to buy a floor pan, stick it in there, and then work everything from that. But they're very expensive, so they're hundreds of dollars now. That's too much money for me. So I'll just go the long way around and work it out. But I like this now. I like the clear. As I said, I threw some clear on it, and it looks really cool. I really like it. So yeah, it's got a lot of character now. I'm definitely going to leave that little bit of floor in there, and that flaking paint, I'm going to hit it with some clear just to stop it flaking off anymore. You'll actually glue it back down, so that's on the to-do list. I had a look at this, and it's actually lower than the rest of it, so I'm going to have to get in there and bump it out. It's about probably, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. I don't use inches, but in centimetres it's probably, you know, 0.8 of a centimetre. So yeah, still bits and pieces to go here, but I want to try and get some more framework done just to make sure I'm going in the right direction before I start making all these panels up. So I went down the backyard and I grabbed that panel. Hey, now it's looking like a combi. There you go, I'll go sideways for you. So the blokes that ripped this out of the swamp cut it up with an angle grinder, and this way might be better for you to look at. So what they did is they just got a big cutting disc. Apparently it was a very wide one as well. It was a big angle grinder. It's probably I mean, you can see the thickness of that cut. That's quite a wide cut. So they hacked this thing straight off, and I've got my little homemade welding brackets. You've probably seen 1,000 of them on the internet. I just made those. They're great. They're really good for holding things in place. Just to get an idea. They're okay for, they're actually meant for butt welding panels together, but I find them too difficult to get out after you've started welding, because the metal shrinks and it sticks it together. So it's real hard to get. You can get the pin out, but you can't get this piece of steel out, so I don't bother anymore. I've sort of worked out how to do it without them. So it was good at the start when I first started doing it, but so yeah, now I've got, so I had none of this, okay, so this just does not exist for me. This just is not anywhere. I do not have any of this at all. I don't have any of this. There's no sills, there's no nothing. So what I've got is some rusty bits and pieces. So I've got this, and that gives me you know, a width up here, but it also, there's one little tiny piece of seat, sorry, yeah, seat pan I suppose you call it, and it's there, but that actually gives me a reference to start making templates for seats and the dog legs. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, I think, making up some templates, just getting away from the welding for a day or two, and just take a step back and sort of decompress from it. But yeah, it looks good. It's all been hacked up, so someone's come along and cut all this up and sold it off before I got to it. So unfortunately I don't have any of it, but I've got plenty of paper and pencil, and I'll just get at it. So I've got this off cut, which is the start of the dog leg on this side, which I don't have any of here, so I know how to get that, so I can make that here. And I've also got this, and it gives me the curve down to the level of the seat, so I get automatically, I've got that curve, so I've got that curve, and then I know how wide it is, so I can come forward. And then what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to bring the front end in, and I'm going to sit it up here and then start taking some measurements and start to get serious about this. So yeah, starting to look like a vehicle. But as I said, there's something not quite right here. I've got a feeling that these early buses, like this is a very early bus, it doesn't have indicators, it has the semaphores. I think this was different than the later ones. I think this was a bit of the barn door chassis, so it was like leftovers they used to make this up with. You know, like an addition. So I've got a feeling that this isn't quite, because every picture I look at on the net, this, even the handbrake is different. It's got the cables running down underneath on a type of wheel, and this one doesn't. So this one has a it's got this thing here. It's an equalizer, so the two cables come out. On the other combis that I've seen, the cables actually come around a curved part underneath. So as I said, I'm just trying to decipher what it is and go from there. So yeah, looking good. It's nice to get that started. So I'll be able to get the floor rake once I get the front end sitting up here, because I'll know exactly where the front end's got to go, because it's sort of got some of the bits and pieces that I need for measurements. So I'll probably put it in, and then I may even drop this down on its guts for a few days just to get it a little easier for me to work at. Not too sure yet. Anyway, I'll bring you back.